Hello.
Hello,
Welcome to Front Office Football. I am Keith. This is.
Nathan.
We are only a few days away from the draft, 2026 draft.
4 days.
4 days. So today's episode, we are going to focus in on a few different kind of variables. Last week we did no trades, mock draft round one. I think today we're going to talk a little bit about where could there be some trades, either some teams jumping out, some teams jumping in. We'll spend, maybe half the episode on that, some trade conversations, and then maybe the back half we'll talk a little bit about.
Maybe some day two sleepers,
Okay.
and kind of going both ways. So, some players that you might see come into the day two picks that haven't been projected there before, and then also some guys that might be there on day two that have been projected on day one.
Yeah, I like it. Okay.
Yeah.
News last night.
News last night: Dexter Lawrence to the Bengals for pick 10. So poor timing on our part.
Yeah, so no more Cincinnati Bengals in pick 10. I mean, good for them. I don't know how they're going to find money to pay them, but
28 million, I think. I just saw.
Yeah.
A couple hours ago, they paid him. They extended him to 1 year, 28 million. I don't know. I don't know where that money's coming from.
I don't know, but let's jump into it. So,
Yeah.
so let's look at some teams that
Did you want to tell them how we're gonna go through it?
I don't know. We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna go through some things like maybe picks 1 through 5.
Then
Any
6
interest
through
there?
10,
6
11
through
through
10.
15, 16 through 20.
But yeah, we're gonna bounce around a little bit for the first half of this episode. Just kind of talk about where there might be some ins and outs of trades, people getting out, people getting in.
Yep.
There are a few teams that have no trades. I kind of wanted to start a little bit there, if that's okay.
Go ahead. Yeah.
There's a few teams that have no round one picks. Atlanta Falcons, Bengals, obvious reasons we just talked about.
Yep.
Denver Broncos, we know why there as well. Indianapolis Colts, and I think that's it.
Yep.
So
Packers.
Oh, and the Packers. Sorry. You see any of them maybe trying to get back into round one? Maybe.
Well, I'll tell you who I don't think is moving back
Okay.
up
Well, yeah, that's
into
easy.
round one.
Yeah, let's do that.
Broncos. No, I don't think so.
This
Bengals.
was their first round pick, right? The trade for Waddle.
Yeah,
So,
to trade for Waddle. They were gonna probably take a player like that anyway.
great.
Bengals. They just traded away their 10th pick.
Okay.
Why would they trade back into the first? I don't know.
Yep, I'm
Which
with
is
you
why
there.
I don't think they will. Packers. Doubt it.
Doubt it.
So I'm probably missing one.
Jaguars. That's left with
Jaguars and Falcons, right?
Falcons. Yeah.
And I think those are the two that have a chance of trading back into the first round. Jaguars specifically, we talked a little bit about it pre-recording, but the Jaguars have 11 picks.
They do have 11 picks.
That's a lot of picks. And if I go ahead and I pull up where their picks are located, here we go. They have 3 round 3 picks. That's a lot of round 3 picks.
Yes.
So this was my idea. They just lost Travis Etienne. Again, not calling him H-Chan. I'm sorry. They lost Travis Etienne. I'm pretty sure their current running back is Bashul Tutin, who was their rookie running back last year. So not saying that it is at all realistic, but if there's a world where maybe the Cardinals want to trade back, pick up some picks, maybe like a first rounder next year. I know you disagreed with that one, but maybe a first rounder this year, their round 2 pick this year, and like a round 3 pick as well. Move up to pick 3 and get Jeremiah Love.
So that's going to be
that's a
interesting, right? So
possibility.
we said first 5 picks. Raiders, they're not doing anything. Jets, they got a lot of picks, but they should use them. We talked about we don't think they should be traded. We think they should use them, build a team, new coach, build a team, etc. And then we hit Cardinals. You got the Titans and you got the Giants. I doubt the Giants are moving out anywhere.
No.
They're going to grab somebody really good in the top 5.
No, they're going to grab Sonny Styles at pick 5, and then at pick 10, they're either going like Jordan Tyson for receiver or Caleb Downs, the other Ohio State guy.
So this would be interesting. So Arizona Cardinals, they're at 3. Jaguars jump in, and they try to grab Love. That's what you just said.
Yep.
Which is going to screw up our prediction for the Tennessee Titans because we thought they would get Love.
Correct. Yeah.
So what happens to the Titans at that point? Do they trade out?
At that point, I think so. I mean, although it is also, every coin has two sides. If you want a team to trade back, you also need a willing team to trade up
Yeah,
and give
that's
away
part of
all
this.
of that value that would be at pick 4. But I think there is a realm where if such probability happens when it comes to the Jaguars moving up and getting Jeremiah Love, Titans could grab maybe an edge rusher like David Bailey or other edge rushers because they do need an edge rusher. Maybe grab any other defensive player. But I wouldn't say that trading back for the Tennessee Titans in a world where Jeremiah Love is not there, it's a possibility. I wouldn't go as far to say as trading out of the first round because I do think they need a first round pick
Okay.
to add to their arsenal. So maybe moving just back in the first round would be
Yep.
the possibility.
Okay. All right. Go ahead. What do you got?
And then also another
Finger in the
team,
air. What do you got?
that we mentioned but didn't talk about at all yet, the Falcons. What do you think the Falcons are doing? Are they moving back up?
No.
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 I don't. I don't know if they have enough draft capital. Let me look. Let's see. The Falcons, don't beat me to it.
I'm going to beat you to it.
The Falcons have just a 1 second, 1/3, 1/4, 1/6, 1. I don't think they have enough capital
take
to
a
do
look.
anything.
Whoa, they don't have any picks.
I just
1,
said
2,
that.
3, 4. They have 5.
7.
7.
7.
Looking on ESPN. Oh, but this says 7. We got a little discrepancy here.
A little discrepancy.
But yeah, I agree. I don't think they move back in. It's not a great franchise at the moment, I would say. So I think that is where it is with picks 1 through 5.
Yeah.
I think the Raiders trade.
Yeah, I don't think the Falcons are doing anything. I don't think they have enough capital to go up.
Raiders don't trade their pick.
No, stop it. All right.
All right, picks 6,
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We've got the Browns, Washington, Saints, Chiefs, Giants again.
Yep. So I think the only realm where the Browns would trade their pick away is in a world where the Cowboys also trade their pick away
Okay.
because it's a pick that I somewhat agree with, or a trade I somewhat agree with, where it's the most mocked that I've seen so far. It's where the Cowboys give up pick 12 and 20, so their 2 first rounders, for the Browns 6 and 39, so their first rounder and their second rounder. And that would allow the Cowboys, in a situation where the Giants do not draft Sonny Styles at pick 5 and Sonny Styles is on the board once the Browns are on the clock. That's the situation that has been mocked. But other than that, I think the Browns might just use that, get a receiver, help out Shador if they think that he's really the quarterback.
Yeah, they do. Cleveland has a history of trading
They do.
in the draft, so
They traded last year.
they've got 2 first rounders already this year, so there's could be some maneuvering there.
You think they trade back 2 years in a row?
I mean, why not?
Why not?
Why not?
Now, this is a team up next that I have a lot of hope, or not hope, but suspicion that they will trade back. Commanders. They don't really have anything really on the draft board. Let me see if I can beat you to it again. Beat you to it again. Okay, so they have round 1.
I think I beat you to it last time. What do you mean again?
Whatever. They have their round 1 pick. They do not have a round 2 pick. They have a round 3 pick. They do not have a round 4 pick. And then they have 5, 2, 6, and a 7. It's not a lot of really good capital to get any kind of decent player.
Well, when we talked about them, we said they don't have like a glaring giant hole. We said they just have a lot of meh players, and it's like, where do you do with meh players and not a lot of draft capital? Do you try to go pick up draft capital and bring in more depth to evaluate and try to find some of the right talent for those positions versus just meh? I think is what we talked about last. So do they go find some draft capital here?
Kind of.
Great non-answer.
Here's what I'll say. There's 2 situations that I think are possible. The Commanders just get the best player available, regardless of any position: receiver, cornerback, edge rusher, offensive lineman. It does not matter. Just best player available is the possibility. But if not that, then yes, draft capital, but not this year. I think they would try and find the best offer possible for draft capital next year, because kind of like what we were saying, They don't really have any big glaring hole, but maybe they do next year.
Interesting. Okay. So we talked about Browns. They're always in and out of the trade situation. Cowboys we talked about. I know they're not until 12, but they were kind of a pairing with
The Browns, yeah.
the Browns. They could even pair maybe with the Commanders if they wanted to throw some picks their way. But Saints,
No.
I don't think do anything.
Nope.
Chiefs, there was some chatter out there that like maybe they just
They just traded.
yeah. No, Chiefs are fine. Giants are picking at 10. The Bengals pick.
No, they're using both of their top 10 picks.
I know it's annoying.
All
right.
Was what 2023, I believe. Yeah, no, it was the 2024 draft. I believe was the last time a team had 2 top 10 picks. You know what team that was?
No.
The Bears. And
The
they're
Bears.
looking pretty
Okay.
good.
Yeah.
When they picked Caleb Williams and Roma Dunze.
Roma Dunze, yeah.
And they're in a pretty good spot right now.
They're looking pretty good. All right, the next stack of teams we're dealing with is
The Dolphins, the Cowboys, the Rams, the Ravens, and the Buccaneers.
So we talked about the Cowboys. We're not going to talk about them anymore.
They could trade down.
They could trade down.
Which is a possibility in a very realistic doomsday situation where every single top defensive player gets drafted before the Cowboys even pick, which would suck.
That, I think, is the glaring doomsday scenario where at that point they just say, let's bounce out and just move down.
Get out of here.
And go grab some second, third rounders.
Yep.
I think the Baltimore is interesting.
Well, they were already planning on trading away that pick for Max Crosby.
Exactly.
So why wouldn't they be willing to trade away that pick again?
They have a lot of picks.
Yeah.
A second, a third, a fourth, 2/5, a six, 4/7.
Hold on. 4 sevenths.
I think. Those are my
4 seventh round picks? Let me go to the Bird team. Baltimore. That's a lot of picks. Do they have the most? They have 11. You said, right?
I did.
That's a lot of picks.
Jets have 11, I think, too. Could they do something?
No.
I wouldn't call it a lot of great draft capital. I think they've got a good spot in the first, second, and third, and the fourth. Like they don't have multiples of stuff until the 7th and the 5th, so they're probably not doing anything in the first round of trade wise.
I think the most that they would get is move to the back end of the first round and pick up like a late third.
Yeah,
that's the most.
Yeah,
but kind of like what I was saying, not on here, but just in general about the Bengals trade, or not what I was saying, but a lot of people were saying about the Bengals trade, was why did they trade for a 27-year-old or 28-year-old defensive tackle when they could have drafted one at such a high position or in the second round and then developed him? You know, since I wouldn't consider them being in the biggest championship contender mode right now, even though their offense or their offensive weapons are probably one of the best in the league. So I think that's something that the Ravens could consider, where they were planning on trading for a 28-year-old defensive player, giving a lot of money. But I think in this situation, they can just draft a guy at the same position and develop him.
Agreed. What about the
especially with their new head coach, who is a great defensive mind?
Yeah. What about the Dolphins?
No.
They've been stacking picks.
Well, they are in a huge rebuild mode right now. So, again, two sides to a coin. They would need somebody to move up with them. But
they have 2 firsts.
If the Dolphins could move back, maybe even out of the first round.
They have 4 third-round picks.
4? Wow. Wow. I would say the Dolphins, they could pick up a lot in capital, I'd say, maybe next year. Kind of like what I was saying for the Commanders, just because of the rebuild mode that they're in. Or they could even use that pick 11 to maybe trade for a player. You know, maybe if they really want to get a good offensive lineman, you know, spend that pick 11 on a premier guy.
Sure. Yeah. I could even see them trying to get another second, giving up a few thirds. I know we're not talking about the second round, but I think they have some capital there which, we talked about the Jets and we said use all the picks and just go draft players.
Yeah.
I think the Dolphins are in a similar boat. The Jets, where did they go?
They are at pick 16 and pick 2.
Yeah, they have the problem with the Jets. They have no third round. So when you look at capital, draft capital as a whole, the value within the draft capital, trying to get into a first or a second round, you got to be giving up, some thirds and some fourths. The Dolphins have a shit ton of third round picks.
Yeah.
That could be interesting to see what they do with that. So, all right. Next, you got anybody else on there? Buccaneers? No, they're pretty.
No.
Okay, Rams, nothing. They got it from Atlanta. They're probably going to keep it.
Oh, but going back to our previous mock draft from last year and going back to the Ravens, now the Ravens got to draft Vega Ione.
Of course.
Because Dexter Lawrence is in their conference now.
Interesting. All right. Jets, we just talked about. I think they just keep making good picks.
Make good picks and set your team up for success because you have some good players in general.
Detroit, I think they're
set.
They're set. They're not going anywhere with that pick. Vikings, well,
There's a possibility, but overall I would say no. Panthers, I would also say no. And Cowboys, I would also say no. So 16.
Other than the doomsday that we talked about, if they bounce out of 20, maybe.
20 they wouldn't bounce out of, I think. 12 they might bounce out of because of that doomsday situation. But at 20, there could still be guys like Mesidor or guys like McNeil Warren
Smart.
that you could still find good value at pick 20.
Right. You're not over.
I don't think there's a situation where the Cowboys would be reaching at 20.
Yeah. Okay. Pittsburgh Steelers.
No.
Chargers.
I wouldn't say. Eagles, I would not say. Browns, also, I would not say. And Bears, also, I would not say. I think this later half of the draft, very uneventful, is what I think.
I think so, too. Trying to look here at some of my notes for who could want to get back into. Yeah, it's pretty stale down at that kind of towards the end of first round.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be good value players in those positions where there isn't an overreach, and I think those teams that we just talked about don't really have. They've got needs, and the players at those positions are going to be at the right position to fill those needs, where it's not like you're reaching for a next available, and it's like I don't really need that guy anyway, so let me get out. I think the players that are in those later rounds, I don't know if you have any of them tagged at draft positions around the 20 to 25, 27 that you can rattle off that are.
No.
You don't have anything up right there, average draft position.
Oh. What was your question again?
Picks like 20 to like 27.
Players that pick.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that'd be your CJ Allen's at linebacker.
We like him.
We do like him. You're like Avian Terrell. He's still a good cornerback. He could be sitting there at 20. I know the Cowboys who have picked 20 had a 30 visit with Omar Cooper Jr., the Indiana wide receiver.
Yeah.
So he's definitely in that 20 range.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, I think we're saying there's players in the right spots with good talent that people aren't going to be drafted out of there.
And I think I can save us a little bit of time and say nobody else is likely to trade out of their spot except.
I got some.
Who?
I think it's going to be maybe a Seattle.
Out of pick 32?
Yes.
Okay.
So the question is why? And I think it's a lot of the 5-year option pickup. So could you see somebody coming in and trying to grab like a Ty Simpson, trying to get the 5-year option, stick him on the bench?
That Cardinals, yeah, that could be a possibility because they're only moving up 2 spots.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it now. They would only jump the Jets in terms of just looking at the whole board.
And Seattle only has 4 picks. And if you're sitting there saying, I only have 4 picks, and I'm at the last pick, and I only have 4 across 4 days, like,
Yeah, I could see the Cardinals picking up or ringing the phone, being like, "Hey, we'll give you our second rounder right now for pick 32, and we'll also throw in, I don't know, whatever their latest third rounder is because they have a couple of those, right?"
Yeah, and the Chargers are low on draft capital too overall. Um, they're picking 22nd. You could see them.
Yeah, but I see value in their pick, in terms of like offensive line and defensive tackle.
True, true, true. Okay,
So what I was
I'll go.
gonna
Yeah, what were you gonna say though? I stole your
I
Seattle
was gonna
thing.
say maybe something that might surprise a little bit. Tennessee or not Tennessee, my bad. Houston Texans. So hear me out. The Texans, they're great. What else do they need? They kind of fixed their offensive line. Their offensive line, I would say, is top 16 now.
Mm-hmm.
We'd have to see how it plays out. Their defense is top 5. They've got great receivers. I won't mention the quarterback, but and then the team that would trade with them. I said before that they wouldn't trade into the first. Now I'm considering it the Falcons. If there's a good defensive player in general sitting at pick 28, and you've got the Dolphins who could pick up a good defensive player, the Patriots who could pick up a good defensive player, and then all of the top guys in the first round who now have the first picks in the second round could all use good defensive guys. I think there's a scenario where the Falcons could trade up and not have to go up too much to the Houston Texans.
That's interesting.
Would you disagree with that?
I don't. I think I fell asleep
Oh, okay.
on Houston for a minute there because I just I think that's an interesting conversation to have with Houston.
Yeah.
They've been kicking ass on defense. They just signed what's his name for $1 bazillion.
Oh, Will Anderson.
Yeah. Jesus.
3 years, 150. Insane.
Yeah. Kids go play defense. And you're right. They have kind of filled some of the needs, but so maybe they do make a bounce.
Yeah. And it's really just any defensive player in general
Yeah.
that they really want. They could go edge rusher, with a certain player's legal troubles. They could go cornerback to help out that secondary. They could go linebacker. It's really just any good defensive player that they think they could get some good value on with him. But yeah, other than that, I think the majority that we've talked about is Browns, Cowboys, and then Cardinals and Titans moving up or moving out.
Yeah. I've got the Seahawks.
And I don't hate that either.
I got the Seahawks moving out. They need capital.
Yeah, and I also don't hate the idea of the Cardinals moving up with those Seahawks to get a guy like Ty Simpson so they can have his fifth-year option.
Okay.
Or maybe even Pittsburgh.
All right. I think that covers. You got anything else on kind of interesting ins and outs of draft
I do not.
day? We're rolling into the final. There's going to be. You're right. There's going to be moments in time where it's like no trades, no trades, no trades, and then we always see it, and then it's like trade, 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 trade.
Yep.
So it'll be. I think there's enough teams in there with capital. There's teams in there with no capital. There's teams in there with needs, and there's teams that are just going to be sitting on their hands saying, I'm just going to draft best available and move on. It's going to be interesting. I think next week we're going to do some, like everybody else, we're going to be doing our version of how did the draft go for these teams,
Yeah.
right? How did we look on kind of some of our thoughts on how, either whether it was swap picks or whether it was just chalk or non-chalk.
And we are going to be spot on or dead wrong. No in between. I'm guaranteeing it. There's no in between. We're either going to be the amount of time I've spent on mock drafts and stuff like that, I'm either going to be spot on or dead wrong.
Okay.
No in between.
Let's hope you're closer to the spot on then.
We can hope. We can hope.
Yeah, otherwise we might lose some viewers. All right, anything else before we pivot to I don't know if we want to call them sleepers, but players that could either jump into a second round, jump up in a second round, fall out of a second round
Well, I have nothing left to add from the previous segment.
Okay.
So I think we should start with what would be the opposite of a sleeper?
Home run, hitters,
No.
locks, lead pipe locks.
Oh, that's the opposite of a sleeper.
You just asked, what's an opposite of a sleeper? Your exact words. What's
Oh,
an opposite
wait.
of a sleeper?
Well, no, a sleeper is like this guy's really good, but he's projected pretty low. So what would be a guy that's projected pretty high, but he's not as good as people think? In a wake?
A bust, potential bust.
I wouldn't say bust, just a guy that could slip. Let's just call it that. A guy that could slip down a little bit.
All right, the slippers.
The slippers.
Slippers versus sleepers.
There we go.
Let's go.
Slippers versus sleepers. That's it. Trademark that. Put that on a t-shirt.
All right, where do you want to go? Slippers or sleepers?
I want to start with slippers. Just because I love the term.
Me too.
I love it
Me
now.
too. You heard it here first, folks. Front office football slippers.
And I'm going to start with two edge rushers that will fall out of the second or will fall into the day two for opposite reasons, the complete opposite reasons. And that is Cassius Howell, because he is really small. And where did he go? I'm trying to get their stats up. And Keldrick Folk, because he's not great.
We talked about Falk. It's our take. We're just not a huge fan of what we're seeing on honestly across the board. I mean, everybody's got him ranked. Everybody says he's great. He went to the combine. Everybody goes, throwing him flowers at the combine, and we were like, why? Like, yeah, sure, he looks solid, but I don't know.
He had less than 15 sacks in his entire college career. He's a defensive end. I mean, J.J. Watt, I'm not comparing him to J.J. Watt, but when J.J. Watt was in the league, he was around the same size. Keldrick Folk, 6'6", 285. He still had 20 sacks?
Yeah.
I know that's in the league, not in college, but he was also that dominant in college. So, we've talked about it before, I don't love Keldrick Folk. He's projected right now, his ADP on PFF is 23.7, so that's, just that 3/4 of the way through of the day.
Okay. I've got somebody
Shoot.
that I want to probe you on slippers, potential slippers. Caleb Banks.
Yes. I used to be pretty high on him, but I've heard some stuff come out that he's still not really fully healed yet.
Yeah, foot surgery.
Foot surgery.
Now there's talk about maybe late 2.
He's got great upside, though.
Yeah.
I mean, he's massive, and he
You
was
could
productive
steal him in
last year.
3? Wow, that's a steal, right?
He won't
Round-
be there at 3 though. But he will. He won't be there in round 1. I only have one defensive tackle going in round 1, and that's where is he? Caden McDonald from Ohio State.
Okay.
He's the only defensive tackle I have going in round 1. I could be wrong. Probably am. But I agree with you in Caleb Banks.
I got a couple others.
Could I say something first?
Go.
I mentioned right before I mentioned Keldrick Folk, I mentioned Cassius Howell
You did?
because of the opposite reason of his size.
Oh, that's right. You were going to give me the opposites, yeah.
You know how long his arms are? So people hate on
Are they shorter than mine?
People hate on Ruben Bain because he has short arms.
Oh, right.
Right? He has about 32 and a half inch arms, I believe. Cassius Howell's arms are 30. So people despise Ruben Bain because he's got T-Rex arms. Cassius Howell's arms are shorter.
Yes.
A lot shorter. And he did have some he did have a lot of production. So 12 sacks, 2 hits, 27 hurries. It's pretty good for his size. But again, it's pretty good for his size in the NFL. I mean, in college. And I feel like when you have that short of arms, I feel like you might need to make up for it a little bit in your height. How tall do you think he is?
6'2".
Yeah, he's only 6'2".
Nailed it.
So
Lucky guess.
Yeah.
I had no clue.
So don't get me wrong, he had great production, but he's only 6'2" with 30-inch arms. I don't love it. I don't love it at all, especially going up against NFL tackles.
Okay. Well, I've got a couple here that I want to throw out at you.
Go.
Um,
Oh, and I have a really big one
with this
specifically.
I've got Malachi Fields.
Well, I don't think he was ever going to be in the first round.
I think, though, he's definitely slipped with his 40 at the combine.
Yeah.
He looked really good in the Senior Bowl, but I think, and I'm not talking like major slips, but I think he's not. I think he's fallen out of like.
You think he's maybe fallen out of like
Yeah.
mid round 3 to like late round 4?
I think he dropped like that next block, right? Whatever that is, like mid 2 to mid 3 is now maybe late 3 to 4. Mm-hmm. We talked about Mesidor.
You think Mesidor's falling
I don't. I said we talked about why we think he's a home run and not let the age bother you. So there's talk about people not liking the age. That doesn't bother me. So I don't want to bring him up.
Are you going to bring up someone very specific?
CJ Allen.
Really? Thought you loved CJ Allen.
I do. But I think I don't think he's a first rounder. I do think he's a first rounder, but I have a feeling he's going to slip to the second.
Why is that? What about him do you think teams like the Panthers or teams like the Eagles or teams like the Bills or teams like the Patriots don't like about him?
I don't know. It's just a feeling.
Just a feeling?
I've got no stats to back up my feeling. It's just a gut feeling.
I'm writing a paper on this for English class.
Oh, really?
On how gut feelings are not a very good way of drafting
horrible.
players.
They're horrible.
No, it is horrible.
Let's see if I've got anybody else.
Still haven't mentioned a very specific person that we collectively do not like. Come on, you got this.
We just talked about it.
Caden Proctor.
Oh, yeah.
Big guy from Alabama. Too big in my eyes.
We've talked about the too big to be good kind of concept. And look, they're playing in the NFL. It's not like they're not good. But we've seen the Giants struggle last year.
Yeah.
And that's your fear, right?
That is my fear. We saw Daniel Falele, who, him being a Giant, just got signed by the Giants. And Anthony Bradford from the Seahawks, both Giants, both the worst linemen in football.
Yeah.
They were not good in the slightest.
Yeah.
We saw maybe a few flashes from Anthony Bradford, 0 from Daniel Falele. And that just really scares me. Caden Proctor, I get it, he's a pretty good athlete. But at 6'7", 366 pounds, it's a different game now. You could have gotten away with that in 2010, being that big, 2005 being that big. But now, your edge rushers are smaller. You don't want them too small like Cassius Howell, but they're smaller, they're speedier, they're more violent than the average edge rusher nowadays. I'd say is more violent than it was 10 years ago. It's just a different game now where you don't need, and a lot of times you don't want a 350-pound offensive tackle. You want a 310-pound offensive tackle who can move really well.
Sorry, I got stuck on something you just said there, which was it's gotten more violent in the last 10 years at the edge position.
What's confusing?
Not confusing. Interesting, I think is what I said.
What's interesting?
One would say, well, it's always been violent. Like, look at Lawrence Taylor. Let me finish my thought, right? So it was always violent. Look at Lawrence Taylor back in the day. But what I was processing in my brain is, I think you're right. I think it went from super violent to definitely a regression on the violent side of it. I don't have any stats to back anything up that I'm saying. I'm going with the gut again here, but just kind of was processing through my brain. And I think you're right. I think it has become very much more of a violent and aggressive edge. I think people are looking at, Micah Parsons and that kind of mentality and that style of just, I'm just going to bring in that specialist again and just be super violent and wreck the quarterback. And,
yeah.
And I don't want to say that's never been a a need and a want. But I would think I would agree. Just as a no research back in my head thought when you said it's gotten more violent, I was like, how did that get more violent when it's always been violent?
I'm also sort of referring to physicality violent, and I'm also like 50-50 on technical violence. Just everybody's more clean and their pass rush moves. That's a little bit more what I mean by like violent. It's more visible.
Okay.
You know what I mean? 20 years ago, you might have somebody ripping a ghost move, and you could see it clean as day. But then nowadays, you'll have a fake spin into somebody's just grabbing the grass and ripping back up in a fraction of a second. So, and then we were talking about with Marcus Ogden a few weeks ago how heavy he was in the NFL.
Well, that's right.
But that's because he had to be because of how heavy the players were that he was going up against. I know he didn't play. He played tackle, and he played interior of the offensive line. But he said he was going up against guys like Vince Wilfork. When he was on the Bills, you gotta be like 360 pounds if you're going up against Vince Wilfork.
Yes.
But nowadays, less heavy. So you can dial it back and get more technical with it. We spent a lot of time on Caden Proctor. I think we need to move on.
I got one last, or if you have any other slippers.
I might have another one after yours.
Jordan Tyson?
Out of the first?
Yeah.
Really?
I mean,
That's
only
interesting.
because of his injury history.
That could definitely be a factor. I would say he wouldn't fall out of the first. I definitely think he's fallen out of that second best receiver slot. I think he's lost that to Mekhi Lemon just because of that injury history.
Okay.
So I would say he won't fall out of the first, but there is definitely a possibility.
I just feel like there's been
where he slips.
there's been some history over the draft years of players that seem to have like an injury question mark seem to slip more than people coming up to go get them.
Yeah.
Right? Like
No,
if you
that's
look
fair.
at
Yeah.
if you look at the Jets that say, oh, I want to go pair somebody with Garrett Wilson, and maybe they would jump up, like maybe use some of their capital. I'm just throwing something out there. I said Jets shouldn't do anything other than use their picks, but hypothetically, they got 11 picks. They're going to go jump, or Miami, let's go get a receiver. I don't think they're reaching, and it's not a reach, but I don't think they're moving up to go get somebody that's injury prone. That's where I feel like if the slots don't slot right, I don't know if he would go in the first.
No, that's fair.
Even though last week I drafted 4 wide receivers
In the top
mock
10,
draft.
yeah. In the top 10.
So, I'm just saying, like these options and scenarios that it's always a position by position, a need by need. Not every team takes best available, and just when somebody has an injury history and they're slotted as the top second, top third wide receiver, sometimes if it doesn't fall the way it needs to fall, you go to the next second round. But
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't
You
hate
said you had one more, and then we'll move on to the sleepers.
This guy has been more prevalent in everybody else's eyes of falling out of the first round, but if you took a time machine back to week 1.
Mike Hicks time machine.
What?
Keep going.
If you took a time machine back to week 1 of college football, this guy would be in top 10, top 5 conversations in the draft, and that's Peter Woods, Clemson defensive tackle. He's already slipped to a lot of people's eyes, to
Why?
Caleb Banks, to Caden McDonald. Why?
I'll ask you, like you asked me, why? What's causing him, in your mind, to
I don't know really.
your gut?
No, it's not my gut. I know it is production. 1, 3 sacks last year for a not heavy defensive tackle, one of the more technical defensive tackles. He didn't have a lot of great production last year, and he doesn't have great size, 6'3", 310. I am kind of agreeing with what you just said. It is kind of a bit of gut. Just the way that everything has fallen. I think Caleb Banks has been projected higher than him now. Caden McDonald has obviously been projected higher than him now. And I might even go as far to say as Lee Hunter be projected higher than him now, because Lee Hunter might be my second favorite defensive tackle. And then also another defensive tackle that I love if I can pull up. Well, I'll talk about. I'll talk about him later because he'll be in my day 2 sleepers.
Well, let's transition to sleepers then. We've just talked a bunch on slippers and some whys, some gut, some statistical metrics, some health concerns. So, I don't know, we've got a few things covered.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Let's talk about sleepers.
Okay, I want you to start sleepers.
Do you have a position you want me to go with?
Yeah, let's just go by position by position. So let's start with running back. Because we know basically the quarterbacks. Ty Simpson will go on day 2, and then maybe like Garrett Nussmeier will go in day 2.
So I'm not going to say Price from Notre Dame because he's like super great and he looked great at the combine.
Yeah, he'll be in day 2, obviously.
What about Kyle? I can't pronounce his name. Manage from Rutgers.
From Rutgers.
Yeah,
From Rutgers. What'd you say his name is?
Kyle Manage.
We're talking about Kyle Manungai?
Yeah. Yes.
Why are you talking about him now?
I don't know. Why not?
Because he's in the NFL. Come on, bro. What site are you using?
All right,
He's on the Bears.
He's on the Bears. We'll have to edit that out. I was looking at.
No, we're leaving that in.
We're
Leaving in the.
I was looking at sleepers from last year into this year, and this year into. Jeez, I'm an idiot.
Well, this is why you're not the brains of everything.
I am not the brains of everything. We will leave this in for the sake of my idiocy.
Absolutely.
All right, so I love the guy from Kentucky.
Seth McGowan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
He is so great. I love him so much.
And if you've watched and we've talked about him, this is not the first time he's come up. We saw him at Senior Bowl, and I was just watching because the running backs were over by where the offensive line guys were, and we were stuck at the offensive line area for most of the days because we love that. But I was like, I leaned over, and this dude's footwork was just
Impeccable.
nuts. And I'm like, dude, look at that guy. Who is that guy? And then we saw his speed on the board. Nobody was really talking about him, but every drill he had was clean. Every drill he did was spot on. And then we saw him at the combine, and same thing. Quick feet.
And also, he might just have like the perfect running back build. He's 6'1", 215. I mean, if you don't want a super tall running back, boom. If you don't want a super short running back, boom. He's right in between.
What's he slotted now? Like late third, early
right now?
fourth?
He's slotted at 133, which is the fourth round.
Fourth round. I think he's coming up.
I agree. Yeah, I like him a lot.
Me too.
I'm right there with him.
All right, so I bounced back after my idiot sheet that had.
Yeah, it was quite
from
idiotic
last year, but you can all laugh.
And then right next to you again. So I think we can do a little bit of this. Of you say a guy from position, I say a guy from the same position. Emmett Johnson. Right now he's projected around the same position as Seth McGowan, that 133 spot. So which is the fourth round. But come on, he had 1,400 yards last year, 12 touchdowns. He's 5'11", 200 pounds. Also perfect running back build. What's there not to like about him? I've turned on the tape. He looks great. I don't understand why. I mean, obviously, running back might not be the biggest position of need this year across all teams. But again, like with a team like the Jaguars, why wouldn't you draft him in the third round?
Agreed.
He's great.
Agreed. Yeah. Who do you like better out of the two we just talked about?
Who do I like better?
Yeah.
I'll say it. I like Emmett Johnson better. Seth McGowan's still great, but I think Emmett Johnson's a little bit better. I only say that.
Side bet. Who gets picked first?
All right. Yeah. Why not?
All right. Side bet.
$1 side bet. So yeah, both of these guys. I mean, you're looking at the screen right now. 133, 134 as their ADP.
Correct.
Right next to each other. But yeah, I think they're both great running backs that should be taken in the third round.
Okay. All right. You get to go first this time.
All right. And wide receiver?
Yes. I was actually going to go wide receiver. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll make sure I don't pull anybody that was drafted last year.
Yeah, you better not. I'm going Jacoby Lane USC wide receiver. He was the wide receiver 2, right behind Mekhi Lemon, who should be a top 10 pick this year. But I think Jacoby Lane's great. His size for what he's been able to do, he is 6'4", 200 pounds. Put on like 10 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great size. He had 750 yards. But yards of reception, 15.3. I love that. I love that yards per reception. And also just turn on the tape. He looks really good. He looks really fluid. And I like him a lot. But right now he is projected at around the same spot that he is projected at 130. So 4th round again. But I think he should be a 3rd round pick.
Okay. I will take Chris Brazel
Ooh.
from Tennessee.
Okay. I like that.
So I'm going to piggyback off of you with you love your yards per reception, 16.5 yards reception at 1,000 yards last year.
He has great size. He's what, 6'5", something?
Let's look at this dude's stats. He is 6'5", 200. A little of an older guy, 22 years old.
So I agree with you. I do like him. However, there's a big glaring hole in his profile. And that's the school he goes to. He goes to Tennessee. And name one successful Tennessee wide receiver. I'm just saying. I mean, it's a glaring issue. I watched one video talking about, there's all of these, wide receiver university, quarterback university, which university produces the best of each position. I saw somebody do an opposite of that video, which school produces the worst of each position. Tennessee just so happened to be the wide receiver anti-university.
Yes. It's interesting because he was actually very high and then he dropped throughout the year and then he kind of came back up towards the end of the year. So I think he showed well
Agree.
Towards the backside of the year. I think there's some teams we talked about. Kansas City needing some receivers, Pittsburgh needing some receivers, Browns maybe.
Yeah.
I think. Look, I don't want to say he's like a boomer bust guy, but obviously we're talking about sleepers that can move up. So there's deficiencies in these players. That's why they're not, first round or second round picks. But I like his size, and I think he's got some upsides. That's why I chose him.
100%. Yeah, I agree with you. It's a great pick.
Where do you want to go next?
Let's just quickly do tight end.
Tight end.
It's hard to do tight end because they can be picked anywhere. They really can. You can have 2 tight ends in the first round, and then not have another one picked until the 4th. It's tough to do tight ends, but I'll go again this time. We can do a little bit of like a snake.
Okay.
Well, you had something else?
No, go ahead.
Justin Jolie, NC State, hometown. NC State tight end, 6'3", 263 pounds. He had some really good production for a tight end, 489 yards, 10 yards of reception, 7 touchdowns. I like that number, 7 touchdowns for a tight end. I like that a lot. I turned on the tape. He just looks like a good tight end, and he's currently projected as a 4th rounder. He could stay there, but I also wouldn't be against seeing him go late 3rd.
All right. I'm going to what do we consider as somebody moving up, like
from round 4 to round 3 or from round 3 to round 2?
Michael Trigg to not really a sleeper?
I would say so. I mean, he's a projected 4th right
he
now.
He is, right?
And I think he should be a 3rd round pick because I think he's good.
Look at me, I'm rallying. I got
You are
back to back.
You're back in it. He's my 2nd or 3rd favorite, I'd say, tight end in this draft class. I like him a lot.
Yeah, 13.9 yards reception. Targeted a lot, 85 targets.
Yeah. I agree with your statement. I said I didn't want to spend a lot of time on tight ends just because of how unpredictable they can be when it comes to being drafted.
Okay. All right. My turn, and we are going to go linebacker.
I'm okay with it.
Do,
Yeah.
do I get to pick?
Skip the lineman, I guess.
Yeah, save the best for last.
Yeah, I'm good with linebacker. What is your prediction?
Um, I'm looking at. I don't know if I want to steal yours or not.
You won't steal mine. I guarantee it.
Bryce Botcher.
That was mine.
So
Bryce Betcher.
Betcher, sorry. We talked about him. That's why I kind of had him in my notes. Sorry, you're going to have to go find somebody
okay.
else. Why don't you talk about why you liked him?
No, you talk about him because he's your pick. I'll find somebody else. But for
94 tackles. Yeah. Only 14 missed tackles last year. He's he's projected to go late. Like, I think in the 130th, so fourth round.
Mm-hmm.
232, 6'2". I think he's got the right size. He dropped in the year for kind of where he was ranked, and then kind of made some good bounce back. I think he looked really good at where he's been showing. I mean, Green Bay, Cowboys, Eagles, Chicago. I mean, there's a lot of teams that we talked about linebackers, but
He's also just a great athlete. He also plays baseball.
baseball. Yeah. You talked about that with me about why you liked him, but yeah, I like that's my sleeper
Okay.
for a linebacker position.
So this is why you come prepared. I have mostly I have my sleeper, who I don't think will be a day 2 pick, but right now he's projected as like a round 6, round 7.
Well, let me see if I can figure it out.
Don't look at my screen.
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not. Jack Kelly?
No.
Okay.
Sorry. Jack Kelly is good though. Actually, right above Jack. I do like Jack Kelly. He wears a nice cowboy collar. I'll say that. But Red Murdoch out of Buffalo.
Buffalo.
Red, nickname, real name, Khalil. Last Khalil that came out of Buffalo. Khalil Mack.
Khalil Mack, yeah.
That's good.
93 tackles.
93 tackles, 42 assisted tackles, 14 missed tackles.
Mm-hmm.
So
91.2 grade
and I will pull
on
up,
his position.
Hold on one second. I'm pulling up the.
You think he's a little heavy? You think he could lose a couple lbs? 240? 6'1", 240? You like where he's at?
I kind of like where he's at.
Okay.
I think he can bring a lot of weight down onto the line.
Okay.
But this is what I think. He's an off-ball linebacker. I'll say that to start before I even get into this. 5 sacks, 6 forced fumbles. He had 142 tackles total. So PFF splits it into tackles and assisted tackles.
Mm-hmm.
So overall, he had 142 tackles. But man, he is super productive. And I would compare him to a guy like Maris Leafau, who is currently on the Cowboys, getting converted to edge rusher because of like his ability he had in college.
One thing that I love about this guy is his consistency over the last 2 years. I know you've got Pro Football Focus up, and we talked about 93 tackles and 42 assisted tackles. Guess what his stats were last year? 94 tackles and 50 assisted tackles.
Yeah.
Consistency with this guy.
Yeah.
Definitely bring in the consistency.
Oh, yeah. 100% bringing consistency. But what I just love looking at the most are his turnovers. You know, he had 6 forced fumbles this year, and he had 7 last year, and he had 4 the year before that. That's 7. That's 17 forced fumbles in 3 years. That's really good. Just overall, that's really good.
Okay. Moving on.
Yeah. Moving on.
Do you want to talk anything about quarterbacks, or do you just want to jump to the linemen?
No.
To be conscious of our time here.
Let's jump to the linemen. Let's start with
Let's wrap up with linemen.
tackle. Oh, you don't want to do defensive back?
Okay. Where do you want? Tackle?
or defensive line. We're skipping a lot of positions here, buddy.
All right.
I'll let you decide.
All right, let's go edge, defensive line.
Edge rusher specifically. I'm okay with edge rusher specifically because there's a lot of just spread out defensive tackles that I don't think they're moving from their ADP.
Okay. So I'll just throw one edge out there. And I like the team that he played for. Tyreek Sapp.
Treek Sapp, okay.
Treek Sapp.
Yeah.
14 hurries, consistent. We talked about it. 14 hurries last year, 14 hurries in the year before. Not a lot. His sacks dropped. He only had 2 last year. He had 8 the year before. I'd like to kind of see what kind of went on there because I don't know if people kind of started to throw eyes on him and what have you. But I like what he's produced over the last 2 years.
My only concern with him is if you go over to that next tab, overview, take a look at at his measurables. No, the first tab, dude. Overview. He's 6'2", 275.
Yes.
It's a little weird, don't you think? You would expect a 275 edge rusher to be like 6'6", but he's 6'2". I won't take that too much away from him though, because he's still pretty good.
Yeah.
But for me,
What do you got?
Nadame Tucker, Western Michigan, Broncos.
Nadame Tucker.
He had
Not on my board.
okay.
250, 6'3". I mean, he's not too off of what my guy was.
He's
An inch taller and a little lighter.
25 pounds less.
All right, shut up.
But he had 14 sacks and 41 hurries. I get it's a small school, Western Michigan, but I mean, that's just good. It's good football. And I know we said like one guy per, but I have another guy.
Okay.
He might not be a third rounder, but right now he's projected in like the 5th, 6th. I think he'll probably be like a early 5th, late 4th. And that's Caden Curry, the Ohio State edge rusher. Very much outshined because you had Arvell Reese and you had Caleb Downs and you had Davis and Igbenogsoon and you had Sonny Styles on the team. But Caden Curry, he had 12 sacks to start, 14 hits, only 20 hurries, I'll say that. But what I'm looking at specifically is his size, 6'3", 260, so pretty good size. And then his snaps by alignment, 51. So he's an edge rusher specifically, but he had 51 in the A gap, 41 in the B gap, 37 over tackle, and 476 obviously outside of tackle. I just love his versatility. They put him anywhere on the offensive line, and he gets hits, he gets sacks.
Okay. Interior?
Offensive line or defensive line?
Defensive.
No.
All right, I want to throw one name out there.
Shoot.
Big Tim.
Tim Keenan. Yeah, Big Tim.
He's a project,
He is.
but he's got such a great. I mean, we saw. I don't mean to keep saying all the people that we saw, but that's why you go, right. You go to these Senior Bowls and the combine, so like watch players and see their attitude and against other players of their skill set, and they're all going to the NFL. And like, what does he look like? How does he match up? Does he have the good attitude? He looked fun. Like, I feel like that could be. And again, this is a sleeper moving up, maybe a round or something. I'd throw if I had a couple extra picks, maybe throw a flyer on him to see if I could shape him into something in the interior line. He's got a good attitude and a good motor and a good push.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
I mean, clearly he has no pass defense, but that's okay. I mean, you're bringing him in for specialty kind of.
You're bringing him to be
a specialist.
6'2", 320 pounds, not
Yeah.
whatever else you would expect him to be.
All right. Offensive line?
Shoot. Start with offensive tackle and then move to the interior.
Go for it.
Okay. You know what? Yeah, I'll start. So here's a guy that, I'll actually mention him with the interior offensive lineman, even though he's a tackle in the college realm. Brian Parker out of Duke.
Literally on my page right now because that's what I was going to use.
You get to.
We've
steal
talked
my
how
line
good
back.
Duke was with their offensive line this year.
They
We
were
talked
great.
about
They were
him.
great with their offensive line. He's projected his ADP right now is like mid 4th round.
Yeah.
But he was really good. He's got great size. He's 6'5", 305. So he does have good size. He only allowed 3 sacks, 2 hits. I mean, he was good overall. You can put him really anywhere on the offensive line that you want to. I just think he's a good player, offensive line wise, and he was really the leader of that Duke offensive line. Yeah, now you got to think.
I do. I like Diego Pounds, but I think he'll go where he goes.
Diego Pounds has a lot of pounds.
Yeah. Man, you stole my thunder.
Sorry about that.
What about?
Don't say my interior guy, please.
Oh, I was probably going to, so I'm going to stay outside. I'm going to stay away from it. I know who you were going to say.
No, say it.
Was it dude from Kentucky?
No.
Oh.
You can say him, but he's interior.
I know.
Yeah.
That you said go say him.
Yeah.
How about Cage Casey?
I like that. Yeah. Another
Out of Boise State.
Mm-hmm.
Only 4 sacks. Again, these are guys that are like 4th rounders, so you're not looking for the flair, but you're looking for consistency.
And he's consistent.
He's consistent over the 2 years. He's 3'11", 6'5", good height on the edge, good weight. He could probably lose a little bit there. Overall grade of an 80. Again, I there's some things that we saw that we liked about him. Interior?
Okay, so I'm staying on the offensive tackle side for interior because I think that he can be a good tackle, but I think he can really show out on the interior, and that is Missouri's Keegan Trost. So Missouri's Keegan Trost, he played offensive tackle this year. All year he played right tackle except for one snap he played left guard. But he is 6'4", 316 pounds. So not great offensive tackle size when it comes to the NFL. I know we all just got proven wrong by that with Armand Membu, who actually also went to Missouri, I'm pretty sure, who's now on the Jets, and he played phenomenal. But, I mean, I turned on his tape one day just because I was wanting to watch a bunch of offensive linemen getting ready for the combine, and I came across Keegan Trost, and he was good. He was really good. He had one as a 6'4" offensive tackle. He had 1 sack all year, 2 hits, 4 hurries on 432 pass block snaps. And the level of competition he went up against, just going to rattle off some schools. Texas A&M, they've got great edge rushers. Auburn, I know Keldrick Folk isn't great, but Kayron Crawford, he's pretty good. Alabama, they've got some good defensive players. Dylan Stewart from South Carolina, he's not in this draft class, but he'll be in the next one. He's one of the best guys. So he's played the competition, and he's shown out. Overall, that's my guy. So I think if he can play at that level of offensive tackle at that size in college, I think if a team takes a chance on him, puts him at guard.
Okay.
Because he won't be the strongest. I'll say that, but kind of like a Zach Martin. He won't be the strongest. He won't overpower anybody.
What's your take?
Man, is he good?
What's your take on Crown over?
Demetrius?
Yeah.
Took a picture with him. That was pretty cool. Man, it's. Sorry, I'll
6'7", 336. He's a tall man.
Massive man.
Very tall man.
Man, I wish Caden Proctor was Demetrius Crown over size, 6'6", 330 instead of 6'6", 360, because then I would like him a lot more. But overall, he's a project.
Okay. He only allowed 2 sacks. Only allowed 2 hits.
But 23 hurries. So they were getting there. They just weren't finishing it.
Okay. Good call out on that. Yeah.
So,
I mean, some good competition, right? You had to go against Notre Dame, Auburn.
Yep. But
Florida, Arkansas, LSU, like that whole.
He's definitely a project. Okay. So a team that already has like an offensive tackle set, but maybe he's getting older, or maybe they're trying to find a way to move on from him. I'm not going to mention them too much, but the Cowboys, if they want to move on from Terrence Steele, maybe next year, maybe draft Demetrius Crown over just to prepare. But yeah, he's definitely slightly project, but overall he's got great size, and I think he's got a lot of potential. So
All right, we're running long on time. What
We
what
are.
what do you want to hit any last quick hitters without getting into any specifics? Anybody that stands out that you want to rattle off a few names to keep an eye out on?
Yes, yes. One last person. How about we, regardless of position, one last
Go
person.
for it.
I would love to rattle off. I'm scrolling down to him. Avery Smith from Toledo.
Okay,
Is it Avery Smith? No, it's not Avery Smith.
good
It's
job.
the
You pulled a
I
you
pulled
pulled
the
pulled him in.
Andre Fuller, the other Toledo cornerback. I love him. So him, and Manuel McNeil weren't great on Toledo.
So he's a cornerback.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're not telling you who the hell this guy is, but Andre Fuller, quarterback out of cornerback out of Toledo. Go ahead.
6'2", 202. So really good size for a cornerback, actually.
Mm-hmm.
He allowed one touchdown and he had one interception this year. 56 allowed passer rating.
Yeah, it's pretty excellent.
And on 22, he only allowed 22 receptions on 52 targets. That's less than 50% completion percentage and less than 260 yards. That's just good overall. I know, it's Toledo. They play in a lesser than
Was
conference.
he injured in 2024?
He was injured in 2024,
Okay.
yeah. But the year before that, 2023, he also played good. Again,
He was okay.
He was okay, but he played good. I'll say that. Not great, but he played good. But for a guy that's projected to be one of the last picks in the draft, I'd consider that a steal.
Okay.
If you draft him in round 4, round 5, I'd consider that a steal. I mean, even if it's around 6, it's still a steal, I'd say. Oh, and there's another guy, but
Go ahead. One last. Go.
One last. Jadon Kennedy, Oregon, cornerback, also really good. Only allowed 100 yards this year. He had 2 interceptions, 39 passer rating, and 17 for 37 on target, so also less than 50%.
Last player I want to bring up.
Shoot. All yours.
And I forget his name, so I need your help. He was the gentleman at the combine that gave the great interview for offensive line and just said, stick me somewhere.
Spencer Fano?
Yeah.
Well, he's going to be a first-round pick.
I know, but is there anybody else that you see has that attitude? I'm putting you on the spot a little here. Is there anybody else with like a similar mindset of whether it's in the secondary, just stick me wherever, a hybrid linebacker that could play all 3 downs? Is there anybody that it could be still a second round or a third round, or even a late first? Like, is there anybody out that has that mindset? Because I thought that was a great mindset, something I want to close the show on, of just having super positive attitude going into this draft, never knowing if you're going to get picked, sitting there on day 1, nobody grabs you, sitting there on day 2, nobody grabs. We've all seen it, but is there anybody that has like that cool attitude?
Yeah.
Of I just want to play, man.
Yeah, and the guy I'm about to mention, you can tell that he just has fun playing football. He loves it. From what I obviously I haven't seen all of the interviews that he's had, but getting Stunker, the hair.
Okay. Yeah.
Every time I watch him play, every time I watch him do a drill, it just looks like he's having the best time.
Excellent.
So I feel like it doesn't matter where he gets drafted, doesn't matter who he gets drafted to.
He's going to have a good attitude.
I think he's going to have a good attitude about it.
Excellent. All right.
Yeah.
I appreciate you sitting with the longer show going into the draft. 4 days away. We had a lot to cover. Again, first half of the show was fun. Second half of the show was a blast. Please continue to watch our episodes. Please review comments.
Leave comments.
Leave comments, and we'll provide feedback on those comments. If there's anything you want to hear and talk about as the season starts to get going into, off-season drills and mini camps coming up and things like that. I mean, I think next week we're going to talk about draft results. We'll do some team gradings.
Yep.
We'll do Potter gradings as to kind of how did we do on what we thought. Hopefully pretty decent on at least needs for these teams and drafting. Maybe some trades, maybe not. But anything you want to add before we roll out today?
Just thanks for sticking with us so far.
Yeah,
please continue.
We're having a blast. I hope you guys are having a blast with this. I appreciate everybody that's participating with us. Tell your friends, tell your family, and we're going to continue to have some fun with y'all. So, thanks.
See ya.